So my dad died at kidney failure. And the crazy part about it is we had a lot of family that was his blood type that could have, gave him a kidney. So it starts there, right? It's like, wow, it makes you observe family different. Um, from there, it's like, okay, your dad is the breadwinner. Your dad retired your mom. Now your mom got to figure it out all over again. Why she still take care of you? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you know? So when we talk about like your dad dying of kidney failure, I'm sorry to hear that,
Mhm.
especially with you being 4. Like, when did you start to find out that there was people that could have potentially, like, and I can't go out on a limb and say saved his life because I don't know.
No,
And
you
obviously,
can flat out say that.
welcome to the Grief Bully podcast. I am your host, J.Nicole. Thank you for joining our weekly discussion around grief, mental health, and your overall personal wellness. The Grief Bully podcast will serve as a vehicle to help you navigate life's journey. Be sure to subscribe, review, and share the podcast with anyone in your life that you think it will help. Let's bully grief together. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Grief Bully podcast. I am your host, J.Nicole. Guys, we are back in the building, rocking and rolling for another conversation. I'm not by myself today. I do have a special guest. He's with us from Philly, a producer, an artist. He goes by the name of Promo. Promo, what's up?
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Just want to say thank you. I'm glad to be here. Great platform for great conversations that really help people. So
no, I appreciate that. Listen, like anytime we can have the opportunity to grow, to like release things, just share parts of our story, and then ultimately we all end up learning something or figuring out something new that we can take and carry with us on this journey. So for a lot of us, life be lifing.
Lifing for real.
Lifing for real. And then we get to a point in our journey where maybe we went through things and didn't realize how impactful they would be, or just like the magnitude and power of sharing those things. And so when we talk about grief, loss, mental health, all of that stuff, like what does that bring up for you?
Grief and loss is like, for me, I think it started with my dad, losing my dad at 4. It started at that, and it started at seeing your mom, gotta figuring it out. You get what I'm saying? Then it started trying to find manhood for yourself. Your mother can only do so much. You get what I'm saying? And then it's watching all the death that your mom experienced. And how her life now trims on you. How you're scared, your anxiety raises a little bit more because you go off of your parents, right? So if your parents tell you don't ever go down the street, it's a scary block. Now you're terrified of going down certain streets. And in all reality, her journey is her journey, right? And yours is yours. So it's growing up and got to deprogram everything you learned from the rights to the wrongs and figuring out what's right and what's wrong for you and what works with your life.
No, that definitely makes sense. So just to kind of backpedal a little bit, you lost your dad when you were 4. Like, do you mind sharing what happened?
Yeah, so my dad died at kidney failure. And the crazy part about it is we had a lot of family that was his blood type that could have, gave him a kidney. So it starts there, right? It's like, wow, it makes you observe family different. From there, it's like, okay, your dad is the breadwinner. Your dad retired your mom. Now your mom got to figure it out all over again. Why she still take care of you? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you know? So when we talk about like your dad dying of kidney failure, I'm sorry to hear that, especially with you being 4. Like, when did you start to find out that there was people that could have potentially, like, and I can't go out on a limb and say saved his life because I don't know.
No,
and
you can flat out say that.
Yeah, you think so? Okay, I'll let you say it. I don't want to, say that.
I would say it became a huge part. It's like, wow, it's like we curse on here.
No, try not to.
Sorry. It's like,
you
wow.
didn't yet.
It's like, wow, why I never go to this family reunion, Mom? Like, why you never introduce me to that side of the family? And then you realize it's a grudge, and it's like, okay, well, what's the problem? Oh, they could have saved his life. This is why we don't know this side of the family. Oh, I got it now. And now it's like, wow. It's like this is why I never, been on. This is why I never seen this side of the family before. You get what I'm saying? It's because they did what they did. You get what I'm saying? So I think it just started from that. And just to get deeper, me having the stepdad and my stepdad, in and out of jail for a short period of time. So you got to be the man in the house. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your mom can only do so much. You watching your mom deteriorate from time to time, trying to figure it out. You get what I'm saying? Not having a man in the house when you really needed one. You get what I'm saying? Like you got to learn from your cousins or what you can pick up in school. So a lot of stuff I had to learn. Like I did my first fight. You had to lose to know I need to learn to fight. You get what I'm saying? A lot of stuff. Like my brother here today, like he single mom, same thing. We both had to like learn how to do certain stuff.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a lot. I mean, that's tough. Do you talk to those family members now at all? Like now that you're older, so like whenever you found out about it and then you're older, because I feel like if that was communicated to you, but then like when you process that, did you have any relationships with them at all that had to change? So like maybe you was cool with a cousin or uncle or aunt, and then you found out, hey, you could have saved my dad's life, or was it just your mom that you never met them?
No, they used to send me little toys and money and stuff. Just randomly want to spoil me, and I always wondered why. Like not that I wasn't deserving of it, but like why Christmas time you want to send me $200 randomly? Why you always checking up and say I'm good? And then I get older and realize it's because they feel guilty of something that they didn't do. You get what I'm saying? But at this age, I'm 28 years old. It already happened. It's not you haven't been a part of my life so far. It's like it is what it is.
Yeah. What would you say to them if you had a chance, or have you had a chance to say anything to them about how you feel about it?
I feel that I think about this a lot. If my dad is here, my life is totally different. Like you gotta say, like my dad retired my mom, so that just goes to show you the kind of money he was bringing in. Right, my life is totally different. Like, but then again, it's like, yeah, your life will be totally different. Like which way, right? So that's the only thing that keeps me back, because it's like maybe I wouldn't be a producer, maybe I wouldn't have the time. You get what I'm saying? Because that's how I dealt with it. Stepdad in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like mom trying to figure it out, going through depression. You going through depression because you a certain size in school. You got to hear girls call you ugly and this and the third. So it's like maybe I wouldn't even have touched music. Music was my way of having something that everybody didn't have. The girl, like I used to get girls like that in school. Like I wasn't the cutest, the slimmest, whatever. But I make music. I could go home and make a song about it. That was like the cool thing to do.
Gotcha.
And that's how I fought back through it, like through having the talent. But it would be totally different.
Yeah, that's true. We talked about that before too, just like how our lives could potentially be different if whatever. But then like saying, well, this is my experience. This is kind of the way that it actually went. You talked about something that I actually haven't really come across in a conversation, but just having to deal with like that grief of maybe not necessarily like fitting in or like feeling it in that sense, and then being able to like cope with that, I guess, with music. I mean, I think you're handsome, by the way. So, my
self-esteem good. But I recently just got over that. Like my friends had to tell me, like they'll like, yo, you doing too much. But nobody never got to the root of why. Why am I doing too much? Why when I get a car, right, I gotta get the best one. Why when I go shopping, I gotta get like the most expensive pair of shoes. Why I gotta post my platter, or my boat ride or my plane every time? Why? What does that mean? Right? That means something is going on inside, right? Like you're trying to overcompensate with something. You're still trying to get, it's like you're still trying to get payback for that high school girl that never wanted your number. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you're tapping into the self-esteem thing. You're trying to beat people to the punch. You come off as arrogant in certain rooms, because if you come into certain rooms yourself, somebody might shut you down. So those are things I had to like reprogram,
How did you? So you said you started to get over that like recently. Like what kind of like brought you to just saying like I need to be more okay with who I am and not worried about the outward.
I noticed that it's like I noticed one thing, like people don't care. Like nobody cares. Like it is what it is. You're gonna find the people in this world that love you, and the people that don't love you but see what you got is gonna take advantage of you, right? Like so now you like even when I was dating, right? Like I couldn't have like a 7. I had to get a 10. You get what I'm saying? To overcompensate of what I wasn't happy with. Everything had to be extraordinary when I presented it to the world. You get what I'm saying? But what I found is that's not real life. That's not truth, right? Like you got to find what makes you happy. You have to be happy within self, and that's pretty much what I found it out. But it's been like that for me for a long time, just from school and up.
Yeah, no. I understand what you're saying. Did you ever I guess what I'm struggling, what I'm trying to understand is how did you come to those realizations in terms of like, did you go to like any therapy, counseling, anything like that? Or you just was like, yo, I got to just look at this.
No, because I actually sat with myself like, yo, I'm a good person first. it's a million women out there. Maybe the one that turned you down, like, it's like, okay, like, she possibly didn't even turn you down because of how you look, maybe whatever. Like, it's a lot of things. So I just say you just got to be happy with yourself, regardless of what you get from and what you don't get from it. When we all die, let's know that we're going to our grave knowing I was myself. I'm listening to the music I want to listen to out here, not what people are putting in my hair. I wear what I want to wear. I go where I want to go. I act how I want to act. I don't want to die living a lie and portraying something I'm not. So a lot of that, I start thinking about that, And then from there, like I said, it started, I'd probably say like 2022, I'm like, forget it. I'm sick of this game, because you playing the game.
That can get real tiring
real quick.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely, and I think too, and that then you start to try to maybe cope with other things. So thankfully, it was music for you, because that ends up working out in your favor.
That saved me a lot. Mm-hmm. That saved my life and changed my life too. Like I said, at the same time, like I didn't play sports. I played, but like nobody wanted to pick me. I was like the chubby kid. Nobody wanted to pick me like to play basketball. So I had to find something else that I like, and that saved my life. That kept me away from a certain crowds. That it took me places where I could travel and see the world. Like, it really changed my life.
No, that's definitely dope. As you're going through your journey from 4 to now 28, like, what would you say is like one of the hardest things that you had to overcome? It could be as it pertains to losing your father. It could be as it pertains to, like, maybe like you said, watching your mom go through certain things. Like, what was that one thing that I don't know if I'm going to make it through this moment, if you ever had one?
Yeah, I would say it probably was at the time it was the pandemic for me, right? I was in a super bad relationship, like engaged. My mom was away living with my aunt. It was just me in the house. I'm trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody to talk to. Who do you talk to? I'm the only child too. So my thoughts go in my ear and out my ear, and I talk to myself. I answer it. Who do you talk to about these things? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody doesn't do a therapist. You might not have $400. Some people don't have insurance for therapists.
Facts.
You might just have to go to the smartest person in the room, who might be the dumbest in reality. You might, like, so who do you go through? So I feel like that probably was my lowest point. It's like, oh, wow, like, when that money came out, a lot of people lost their jobs, and people are transmission from one thing to the next thing. But honestly, I don't think I ever was at, that kind of like suicidal moment. I feel like I just had a moment where it's like, I don't know what to do. Where do I go from here? You get what I'm saying? Like what's next? So you were engaged,
and then it ended during the pandemic.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, and when you I mean, like, you're talking about moving in with somebody, that's different, like soul tied, right? So when you get to that level and you confine in somebody like that, when the breakup happens, it's real rough. You done went, not saying this is my story, but you done went against family members for this girl. You done spent thousands of dollars for this girl, and then you end up without her, or you end up like, wow, I really did this and I really did that for a person that's not even here no more.
Yo, you just called a lot of people, like a lot of people's story out, because you don't really think too much about that. I don't want to even know if I should use the word pride, but just kind of in a sense that a lot of people go to war against with their family over the person that they're with.
Right. Your mom told you, don't do that. Don't date that girl. But your mom don't know nothing, right? You arguing with your mother over a female that you just met 6 months ago. You think, your mom don't know nothing. That's another thing. We tend to realize that everything that our parents say later on in life, when we get wiser and we sit back and look at it from hindsight, they were right. We don't see it, but they were 1,000% right. So I think it was that for me. I think it was like, wow, okay, like, it's a bad time. Like, okay, I'm out of this engagement. Like, what do you do?
What did you do?
Hop back into my first love, music. Start traveling a little bit more. Like, when you're with somebody for so long, it seems as if the world revolves around you guys, and anything outside of that does not exist. But it's like, yo, California's over there. LA's whatever, everything's beautiful. Like, the world is still the world. You got to move on. And I feel like that's what I did. Like, I took some time to travel, just do music, and just to get to know. We lose ourselves so much when we bring a person in. What we like. We don't even know what we like after that. After that first week or second week. Our schedule got to change back. You used to get off at 8 o'clock just so you go pick up Chipotle. Right? Yeah. Now it's like everything goes back to like, damn, I don't even like Chipotle. Like, you can, like you may sacrifice eating certain food because she may be allergic to that. So you're like, well, I get to eat crabs again, right? Like
that would be a big one. I get to eat crabs again because losing crabs for a relationship
it's crazy, right? You go out to eat by yourself now the bill back down to 50 versus 175.
Yeah, that's
right?
so funny.
So you find happiness again.
Yeah, that's true. I think so. When we talk about like grief and everything, I think a lot of times people just think about it in terms of like death. But that's one of the biggest ones, I think, is the one you're talking about is relationships, and not just when it ends, but in it, like losing yourself, all those sacrifices, and everything comes back. Did your friends receive you back? Because that's another thing too. Like sometimes we lose, maybe you didn't, but you lose like your circle and your friends because you're just consumed with this relationship, and then it ends and they're like,
yeah, I went missing. Not that they knew a lot, right? But I definitely went missing, and I'm sure they noticed the space and the gap of where he at, what's going on. But even in that, right? Even like you said, like even when you're in relationships, like you don't spend time with your friends anymore. Honestly, whatever you do for your friends, you got to do 10 times for your girl. I learned. So if you go on a Vegas trip with all your friends, when you come back, be prepared to go on a Cabo trip with your girl to compensate what you did with your friends.
Yeah.
I learned that. But yeah, like I felt, like I said, I moved out of my mom's house. I'm beefing with my mom over this girl. I'm living with this girl. Mom, you don't know nothing. I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what? How was your mom when it ended? Like, what did she say? I told you.
Nah. She did. That would have been too easy for her. She just felt too sad for me. Like, come on, I understand, but I did. Okay. But it was like, come on, and like she was more excited. Like I graduated school. Like you learned that lesson, because that's what it was. It's like, okay, now you know what it felt like to get checked. Now you know what that felt like. Okay, now you'll move smarter next time.
Listen, you are talking something, because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people that, and that's the thing too. I think like when it comes to any kind of relationship, whether that's with your family, with your friends, or whatever, having to like go through that loss and knowing that person is still in the world, like not dead, like in the world, like doing their thing, and there's possibilities that you could talk to them again, or you could run into them again, but for whatever reason it didn't work out. Sometimes that could be like a lot harder in some regards than somebody dying. You start to work on that coping process, that there is no like nothing is coming back, like whatever. But when somebody's still alive, like that hope and that tug of war, like I've had situations where I really, really, really want to reach out to people, but then I'm like, so like just battling that. Like, what's your thoughts on that part of any type of relationship? It doesn't have to be just like love.
I feel like I'm grateful for the time we spent. We still had a good time in Miami that year. You still let me borrow $100 that time when I needed you. We still had good times. We don't have to hate each other because we're not close no more. We don't have to talk bad about each other. We were friends for 5 years, 10 years. Maybe that's all God had planned for us. Shake hands. I see you. How you doing? And that's what it is. Everybody's not, I don't know if somebody told me this or I made this up. Life is just like it's like a car ride to a destination, right? You start off, you meet some friends. Hey, where you going? I'm going to LA. Get in. We all getting in the car. Some pull over. Some get out. Some get distracted, right? Things get rough. Get a flat tire. Some, you know what I mean? Like everything's happened on this ride. So just be happy for the journey. Just be happy for the ride, but and sometimes, long as you, from my perspective, long as we don't end on a super crazy thing, who knows what can happen next year? Friendship, relationship, you want a business, whatever, right? I feel like long as we don't cross lines, it's all good.
Yeah, that's a good perspective to have. I think I learned that too, that just like putting too much pressure, especially now, like as we're getting closer in this like adult-ish life, I guess, like a lot more responsibilities and like things come up, so you can't really like hang with people as much as you want, or not say want,
I was just talking about my friends.
Talk to people as much as you want, and having that open communication is super important. But being appreciative for like those experiences, I feel like that too. Like I'm not a big person like you said, when you have an ex or something like that, like some of the times those people saw a whole different like version of you. So that I think is not weird, but when you do think about exes, it's like, man, like
you let them get over that shell.
You spent that whole time, and now you're essentially kind of a stranger, but you like know so much about me. And like we all, a lot of us have multiple of that. If you've been in different relationships, and then you just go on like that.
Like it never happened.
Yeah, it never happened.
I gotta erase you out of my mind. That certain parts. Yeah, that's why you gotta be real careful about who you let in. Cause we all date for at this age, some of us we're dating for eternity. The end of it. I'm not, so you just gotta choose your person wisely, and whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But just know that you did your due diligence before you sunk with that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Outside of like losing your dad, like did you have any other like complicated losses in terms of people that you love, friends, anybody?
Yeah. My aunt died recently. Last year, that was crazy to see somebody work their whole life, and right when they about to go on vacation, they get into like a tragic freak car accident, right before they about to retire. Right, so that taught me like, wow, you need to live. I had industry friends like P&B Rock. That situation really killed me because I spent a lot of time in LA, and that could have been anybody in LA, right? So it just made you, it just made you appreciate the day by day, and it also showed you to be more cautious about your surroundings. So I feel like those two deaths was like back to back, my aunt and then the P&B Rock situation. That was like, wow, like, that's somebody I actually was in the studio with. So it's like I feel like when you see somebody like eye to eye, you connect with them, and then when you hear about their death, it's 10 times harder. So I feel like those two deaths really it really put me in my thoughts. So I had to really sit back.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. So like I don't like to say like a lot of times when people come on the show and we talk, I don't really know like their story beforehand. And some people disagree with that. They think that you should have a list of questions, and no shade to anybody that does all that. Like, I like to just have that live and direct conversation. But I asked you about that just because a big part of our conversations that we have, because we like to go have the show and have everybody kind of be able to talk about it when it's there or we share it on social media, is to say like people's perspectives on life do get altered when it comes to loss, but everybody's alteration is different. So I like to hear the perspective of like, okay, you experienced this loss, how did it or didn't it impact your life or your perspective? And like you said, with your aunt, it's like, dang, like you go through all of that and then you get to that point.
It really make you want to build more time with family. Because when you're doing what I'm doing, you chasing this thing. It could be a hamster wheel or it could really happen. You're chasing this thing, and everything else is like, yeah. So when your grandma call and ask you when you're going to stop by to hang out for a little bit, I'm busy, grandma. Right. Like when I get rich, I'll make sure I spend a lot of time with grandma. Mm-hmm. Or your mom call me, hey, come over here and program this Roku. Right. You don't got time. You don't got time for these things. But it's like, these are some of the most precious things in the world. Mm-hmm. Little things like that. Mm-hmm. Just stopping by your grandma's house, fixing a flat screen, just doing your mom's lawn. These are the things that we live for. So how can you neglect these things chasing one thing? So I learned balance is key. If you have a wife, make time for her. Mm-hmm. Your grandma should not have to call you to program her phone. Like, go, take 20 minutes out your day to go over there. Like if you got a little cousin or whatever, check up on him, see what he's doing. Don't say, okay, well, when I get rich or, when I make it, I'll spend all the time I want with him. No, because that may not happen. You may look up and it's 70 years old. It's like I said, somebody may die.
Yeah, you actually bring up a good point, because I saw a clip on social media where LeBron was talking actually about, I think they asked him his definition of success. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you're going to have to sacrifice loved ones. Like, if you want to get to that level, I guess obviously he can only speak from his own experience.
I agree.
Where he was at, that you have to sacrifice those loved ones. Like, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. before you guys are awake. I'm not going to get home before you go to sleep. And then when I am back, I want to take a nap because I'm tired. And so doing that. So while you're saying that, I'm like, I think that the aisle can be split on that, where it's like, okay, if you want to get to certain levels of success, then forget your grandma and a Roku. But then it's like, if you get to the levels of success and then your grandma's not
gonna
there,
have them.
Yeah, it's
you may
like
not have them.
I know,
and that's another thing. That's what, just to get deeper, that is what probably messed up. My engagement. Always on the road. I don't like this. This girl is in the house waiting for me. Like don't she deserve to go out? You know what I'm saying? Like doesn't she deserve to? Be with her, see her boyfriend. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, I get what I feel like LeBron level and like Drake level and stuff like that. That's like elite status, sure, where everything is blocked out.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you got people like Rev Run. Run's house. Run's house is about family. Still making money and being successful, but it's about family. And I hate to quote this next one, but even keeping up with the Kardashians. Right? We're busy, but let's do it together as a family.
I'm okay with you quoting that. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say something about Diddy.
No,
I was like,
not right now.
What you gonna say?
I'm not quoting that right now.
Yeah, I was like,
we're not touching that.
Okay,
but
good.
The Kardashians, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm doing this. So just so you can be around with me, let me pull you into this.
So you feel like that's an attempt at balance, like that like success, pursuit of success, but also channeling balance, like that their show and their family and how they move.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the point of being like? And is that being great at one thing? Is that really being great? If you're the best basketball player ever, right? But your wife always feel lonely, your kids always getting suspended because you're not on top of your household, the family you created. How valuable is that? That's for cameras.
Some people think money can just, y'all got money, y'all all right.
It's not you. When you really live life, you really understand. Like, it's not about that. Like I've had money. You know what I'm saying? But some of the best times I've ever had is just my brother over there or my other friends, and we just cooking out and we watching TV or something. Those times is priceless. What is the point of me having a mansion and I'm here by myself? What's the point? When you get a certain amount of money, like the most fun you have is helping other people, honestly. After you buy the car and you travel and you do all the things on your list, life gets extremely boring. And that's why you see a lot of millionaires suicide and killing themselves and they just go downhill, because what happens when you beat the game? Like, you beat all the levels. What life is extremely boring. You need purpose.
That's true. Do you think it would be better to have never had it at all or had it and lost it? Whatever it is in terms of somebody's success.
Never have it. It's
just
like
never
drugs.
have it?
Never have it.
Yeah.
Because once you have it and you lost it, that's all you can think about. You can't think about a penthouse in LA if you've never been there. Mm-hmm. It's no vivid detail in your mind. You can only just assume or whatever. But when you really tasted it before, really had it, it's like a drug. You will spend your whole life chasing that, getting rid of people and things like. It's just best you just never tasted it at all, because you don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, I think even just like with the success I've had in my life, just where I'm at,
it changes something in you.
To go back, even just a simple thing as this, like, and I'm not gonna say simple because for some people it's not something that they could just do. But like technically, like I could just go and eat almost anything that I would want to eat today. Like I could just go and get something like a meal, whatever. But some people, it's not an option to go out to a restaurant. Yeah, and it is getting real expensive right now. So I may not be saying this in a little bit, but something like that, to go to a point where it's like, that's not even like, it's not even an option. Like whatever is here is all I have unless I ask somebody else. Because of course, you know, you have people that can, I'm not going to starve. Like I have family and friends, but like just to have that luxury. Yeah, that's something small.
And we don't even know how much that's a luxury. We don't even think about that.
We don't.
Like just little things like you could go on Instagram right now and post a lobster, right? You just think it's nothing. Yeah. It's somebody like envious over that picture.
That's true.
They're gonna say something smart or it's gonna strike some kind of trigger in them. Mm-hmm. But to you, it's just a lobster because you've been where you've been for so long. Mm-hmm. We don't even understand how far we came sometimes.
That would preach to, because I think sometimes I struggle with that, where it's like, I don't realize how far I've come. Even I went through this like maybe like a month or something where I was just going around in my house like just being so grateful for everything, because I did have that moment where it was like, I could actually go take a shower right now. Oh, thank God for the water.
As long as
the lights came on. Yeah, because sometimes you do get to that. You should. Well, not sometimes. It should be more often where it's like, wow, like thank God for all this. So every time I wake up, I'm always super grateful for what I have. But I do sometimes struggle giving myself grace about where I've come from and where I'm at now, because you have your mind on where you're trying to go and you're not there yet.
We're programmed for up. It's an elevator, right? So even though we may be mind you, we're on the 8th floor, but all we think about is, how can I get to the 20th? Mm-hmm. We on the 8th. Mm-hmm. It's people on the first one trying to get to the 8th. It's people that will kill you to get to the 8th. People give up anything for the 8th floor. All we care about is 25. Mm-hmm. Like, right? Like you see all these like famous people and stuff like that. They got millions of dollars, stuff like that, but they went another level. You know, you see, they still working. They always working.
Yeah, because I have thought that too. Like, why do people who have gotten to certain levels keep going? Like, the
Right? Yeah.
money, it can take care of. You just
It's a purpose of a mind to want. Our mind has to want something.
Mm-hmm.
We has to have some kind of purpose. So like I said, life gets boring. Right? Like what happens? Like what happens when you beat all the spelling bees? Right? No, you need an opponent. You need that new student to come in that's gonna challenge you, so you can chase that. Now your mind is on that. Like life gets boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, what would be one of the things that you would say? I mean, there's a lot of people, our audience. Just it's a different amount of people what they're going through, but just like as far as how do you feel talking about like your story, your experience, like just to encourage people to feel more confident in expressing? Because like I say, like whenever someone reaches out or we connect and they're like, hey, I want to come, and I said it to you, I'm like, listen, that's commendable, because again, you take something for granted, like your willingness, but there's people who, the fact that they won't share their story, whatever it is, even if it seems small to them, is keeping them so stuck and paralyzed where they are. Maybe they think nobody cares. Like, what would you say to that?
I feel like, listen, we here, we living, we all gonna die. The most scariest thing to think about is that we're all not gonna be here one day. That's the most scariest thing ever. We no longer gonna be here. So I would say to get living, get to living. The job you wanted, go for it. You wanted whatever you wanted. You wanted to start that business, go for it. Just go. You fell, but you did it. You tried. Get living. No matter what that means, just get living. People are going to be people. They're going to come and go in your life. Be appreciative of their time. Don't hold any grudges. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you have loved ones around you, if you got a wife, no matter how annoying she may be, go get her some flowers. Mm-hmm. Like I said, call your grandma. Mm-hmm. Check in on your mom. Mm-hmm. Let grudges go. We are here, and family and friends gives you another high I feel like money can never amount to. So if you got friends that really care about you, if you get a flat on I-95, you got a contact list of people that will come out in the rain to help you. You are rich. You got a mother that's healthy, a dad that's healthy. You are rich. Money is man-made. I'm not naive though. I'm not delusional. We do need it to survive, right? Sure. But that's just about it. Mm-hmm. The thing that kept us all together for all these centuries is family and people. Reproducing, love, happiness, a home. You get what I'm saying? Those are things I feel like needs to have some kind of currency on them as well. Because this one thing that we chasing, we all might not get it. We all might, and it's sad to say you may have spent 20 years trying to chase something that you never get and you die before you even, whatever. So I feel like family is family and love and support. It should also be a currency in your life besides money.
Yeah, I hope that you guys take that, listen to it, and apply it. Before we start to get out of here, I just got 2 more questions for you. Yeah. This one is a little bit personal, but we'll see.
No, let's get it.
How often, or do you think about how your dad would be proud of you, or if he's proud of you, or like, does that fuel you in any way? Just because I'm gonna just say, I feel like, shouldn't say, but like, that's young, like 4, yeah. So just wondering, like, do you think about that? Like, I hope he's proud, or I know he's proud.
I found out, I'm not gonna get too deep because I know we gotta wrap it up. I found out my dad was just like me. My dad had his own car wash. He liked cars like I like cars. My dad had a brand new BMW. He was adventurous. He wanted to do things. He used to fly planes. My dad was the new version of me. He wasn't in the music, but at those times, to do what he did in the 80s, he wasn't flying no plane in the 80s. You didn't have your own car wash. You wasn't, taking my mom out to certain restaurants to try different food. My dad is like me. So if I keep going, because it's like, this is what he would have been. You get what I'm saying? Like, my dad was like at a job at the post office. He used to live in Linwood Gardens in Philly, when Linwood Gardens was like the City Line Avenue apartments you could live in. Like, he was me. So I feel like that's what keeps me really going. Like, wow, like this, everything he did, he retired my mom, and because of that, not to get financially deep, but my mom don't ever have to work again because of the work he put in when he was here. So from that, I gotta top the legacy. I gotta keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of times we will only hope that our children could be our legacy. Obviously, you don't want it to be under some unfortunate circumstances, but either
Yeah,
way, at some point, like you said, we all got to meet that time. And so
yeah.
that's definitely dope to hear that. And then if you had to choose a color for your grief, like what would it be and why?
I would say I'd probably say yellow, bright, happy, shiny. Also resemblance with gold, right? A light, just a bright light, a happy light. When you see yellow, you don't get sad. Like black makes you
Sure.
black really changes
Yeah,
the mood of the room,
for sure.
especially at funerals. Everybody got
Yeah.
black. Yellow is just a good place to be in my eyes, right? Like I said, it's shiny, it's bright. It can mean a lot of different things, you know.
No, I love that. Thank you for sharing it and coming on and sharing your story with us. And obviously, like, there's so many different layers, like, that we could have definitely got into. And maybe we will have the opportunity to dig
Most
into
definitely.
that, at another time, just your experience, what that was like how everything was communicated to you when you were a kid. That's something that I'm thinking about now that I kind of would have wanted to know, like, you know, getting that explanation, like, your dad's not here anymore. You're four. Like, what, go for it.
Mm.
Your dad's not here. They tell you that, like, what was that like? I'm curious to know.
I didn't understand it at
Okay.
first. I'm four, right?
Mhm.
I wasn't. I heard my mom told me I was in a room when like we was at the hospital when they was like, yeah, he's not here no more. And my mom like passed out, but I don't remember any of this. I don't remember nothing, right? Like I just remember getting a little bit older and my friends' dads picking them up from school, and then I had a stepdad, so it kind of like
Right.
replaced it
Forgot
before
you
I
said that.
even
It's
noticed
true.
it was gone. But then you understand, you say, you can have a stepdad. No disrespect to my stepdad. He told me a lot. But it's like biological though.
Mhm.
Like a biological father. What would that be like?
Mhm.
That's the same. In my eyes, your biological mom or dad is the same person as you. Just a little bit wiser.
Mhm.
So certain things they understand immediately. They understand you. They created and made you.
Mhm.
So I feel like I said, I just feel like maybe if he was here, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't, like maybe I would be a good way of looking at it is maybe I would be a little bit more spoiled. I wouldn't have to go hustle and get my first car. He would have got that for me. A lot of things I wouldn't have to, experience. I wouldn't have to go. I wouldn't have to be a man in the house early. So that probably would have took out some ambition for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the only way I could sum it up. Try to be positive about it.
No, listen, thank you for letting me get that in there. And that's you said, I'm glad I asked the question and you answered it because there's just, it's a lot in that answer. And thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. But again, before we get out of here, what do you have going on? Like, how can we follow you, connect with you, like all of that stuff like that?
Yeah, right. Or right now I'm just producing. That's different movie soundtracks. I'm trying to work on TV shows, reality shows. I'm in the works right now with getting my own show Behind the Pen. With the Dash Network owned by Ray J. So that's pretty much what I'm just working on right now. It's called Behind the Pen. I'm trying to do my own, love and hip hop thing, but just for producers. I'm working on that right now. I'm also working on my producer album. And that's pretty much it. For as of now, that's pretty much it. Just working on the music, staying consistent in the studio.
All right. And where can they follow you, connect with you?
Promo Boy _ on Twitter. The real Promo Boy. HitsOnlyRecordings.com.
Listen, it's been another episode of another person coming on, being brave, strong, courageous, choosing, because it's a choice, to share their love, their light with us and their experience. I hope that in some way or another it has helped you. Drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure you go follow Promo. He's doing a lot of amazing things. I appreciate him coming out. And if you're not following me, what the heck are you doing? Go follow me over on Instagram at I_am_J.Nicole. Guys, so next time, you already know. Love and light. Peace.